Give me what I want.
Thank you.
Tuning in to our 500th episode.
But 500, like 500, like wait a minute, 500. That's like wait a minute.
100.
Hey, look.
See, man, you getting all flustered now,
me
man. You can't get flustered
word.
now, man. It's the end of the show. You can't get flustered now, man. Come on, brother.
Let's say a less than influential part of town, you know, in Detroit back in the 50s and the 60s when I grew up there. Everything was the automotive industry, man. Every family worked either for Ford, Chrysler, you know, General Motors. That's what everybody did. And everybody came from around the country to get those jobs because they were great paying jobs back in the day. So the entire, you know, neighborhood that I lived in was people from all over the different parts of the country. It was a very diverse, you know, neighborhood. You know, you had, you know, one block was the Polish families. The other block was, you know, the African-American families. The other block was people that came from the South. They all kind of like found their own little niches of the neighborhood. And the result was, as a kid growing up, you know, I was surrounded by culture. I was surrounded, you know, like my friends. It was especially cool in the summertime because there was a big Italian section too of our neighborhood. And when I say Italian section, I mean people that came over and didn't speak English, Italian section, and Polish and German and everything else. So you'd go, you know, in the late summer and early fall, you know, everybody had a garden. You know, the Italian families especially, they were really well organized. Like one family would raise chickens. And believe me, the lots, you know, that we all lived on, these were inner city lots, right? They were like 1/8 of an acre, you know, fairly big enough to park 4 cars on. But everybody had a garden. You know, one family would grow tomatoes, the other family would grow zucchinis, the people down the street would raise chickens, people down the street from them would have 3 or 4 goats. You know, it was, even though it was like in the city, it was cool. And in the summer, late summer and early fall, a lot of people would harvest the stuff that they grew. And then each of these families would have cookouts in the summertime. And everybody, you know, in the neighborhood would kind of, you go from one place to the next place to the next place. So I had a blast growing up as a kid. It was just different, you know, and I look back at it very fondly, and I'm grateful for it because it gave me a kind of a different worldview as a result. But I grew up, you know, my parents, my father worked. We only had 1 car. My mother would drive my dad to work on Saturdays because he worked 6 days a week. And then my mom would take the car and she'd go grocery shopping, right, once a week. That left my younger brother and I home alone. Like we had control of the house. There was only 1 television and we had complete control of it, you know, on Saturday mornings. So we'd start out watching, you know, silly ass cartoons, Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner and Felix the Cat and all that happy horse shit. And then about 11 o'clock in the morning after the cartoons were over, as you got later in the morning, then wrestling came on. And that was like the big part of our Saturday mornings was watching wrestling. So I grew up as a fan, but I never, ever thought in my wildest dreams, even until the day I got a job in wrestling, I never thought I'd be in the wrestling business. So it was kind of just happened.